All right, so in this video, we're going to build a landing page using the waitlist component in Clerk. I feel like there are some really hidden gems in Clerk. One of which is, for me, the restrictions you can create, which we're going to talk about, and the new waitlist component. I intend to build a series of videos uncovering some of these features because I think they're amazing, and sometimes they are really hidden in the documentation, and unless you come across them somehow or you are in the know, you won't really know that they exist. So I intend to show them to you and build projects using them. So in this video, we're going to build a landing page where you can join a meetup, a dev meetup. I have intended to do this for a little while for my own channel to connect with you guys and the audience. So we're going to host live monthly video calls where you can sign up and join, ask questions. We're going to live code together, connect to one another, connect to the peers. So instead of having a Discord channel, which you guys have been asking me for a little while, I want to have monthly meetups, video calls, so that I can just attend. I don't quite find time to be active in Discord. So even if I create that server, it wouldn't really have any contribution from myself. So I thought, let's just do monthly video calls where we could just jump in and get to know one another and ask questions, live code, and whatnot. And we're going to build a landing page for that. So if any one of you are interested, you could just sign up there. And that would be a good use case for this new waitlist component. Now, I'm going to start from explaining what this feature is, going to the dashboard, and then we're going to build the Next.js app from scratch together. Using V0 to just build that landing page as well. I have prompted it to, it takes time for it to create. So we're going to go through that process. But what is the restriction? So the waitlist component is really a subset or one of the three modes that you can have in your Clerk application. So your application that's using Clerk for authentication and user management can be a public app, meaning that everybody can sign up and everybody can sign in. It can be in restricted mode. Think of it where you are releasing a beta feature and you want to give access to restricted people, or that it's not a beta feature. It is a SaaS application or an application, but not everybody should be able to sign up. It's only for an internal company or an internal use. So it would forever stay restricted. Not that it is in beta and would change, but it forever is a restricted app, and normal people shouldn't be able to sign up. And in that case, you can invite people to sign up, so you can send them an invitation, or you can restrict it based on their domain. So you can say anybody who is on clerk.com domain or has an email with that domain can sign up. Everybody else will be restricted. Now, there's another version or a sign-up mode where people can show interest that they want to be added to your application. This can be, again, a beta feature for a SaaS app, or imagine, for example, a good use case for me would be I have some courses here, and on the Clerk course that we have here, you have to join a waitlist. So this course is going through publication now, but it is not ready. And if you are interested in learning Clerk or authentication in Next.js using Clerk in and out, there's a course, and you can come in and join the waitlist. Now I can swap this component with the waitlist component from Clerk. So if anyone is interested, they can come in and be requested to have access. Now, as I create this course, imagine that I now have a beta version of some of these lessons and chapters. I can then now invite users to allow them to sign in and access the course because they have joined the waitlist before I actually go for the public launch. So it can be in the context of a digital course, a digital product, a SaaS product, that you can use this waitlist component. What we're going to build is a landing page that would look like something like this, where it's a dev meetups where you would join the waitlist to be added to the circle of the community of people that we're going to have monthly live sessions, for example. This is just a use case. You can imagine how you would really implement this. Now, I'm going to show this on the dashboard as well once we create. Actually, let's go ahead and create a Clerk application now. We're going to build a Next.js app and implement Clerk and the waitlist component right inside of it. So let's go and say next, let's call it waitlist, so we know what it is. Email Google, sure. Let's create this application. Now, we need our Next.js app, so why don't we just go ahead and create a Next.js app, pm create next app at latest. Let's call this also waitlist. Yes. Yep. Nope. App router, yes. Turbo pack, yes. All right. So let's cd into next wait list and open this up in the VS Code. Let me also make this a bit bigger. So this is our normal Next.js app. Now we need to add Clerk next. So let's go ahead and add the Clerk next package. We're going to copy our environment variables and come to the .env.local and add these here. And we need to add our middleware.ts. If you're not using the source directory, like me here, you can just create it in the root. If you are using the source, you're going to have to put this inside of your source directory. And now in the app router, we need to add the Clerk provider to our root layout. So let's just go ahead and get this stuff from our Clerk package. So let's come in here. We're not going to use all of it now because what they're doing in the docs is adding a user sign in and sign up button. And we don't have that here now. So we're not using any of this. As I mentioned, so we have this control component. If you're not comfortable adding Clerk, by the way, to your Next.js app, I have a video dedicated to just adding the Clerk version 6, which is compatible with Next.js 15 to your app. So I'll link it in the cart somewhere so you can watch that. I go more in depth in the steps you need to take, what the middleware does, how would you protect different paths, how do you create custom sign-in and sign-up pages, how do you read the session inside client components, server components. So we go through it all in that video. In this one, I assume that you already know that, and we just want to use the waitlist component. So with this Clerk provider added to our layout, we now have access to the user session, and with the middleware, we're protecting or checking the authentication token on every request that comes into our Next.js app, and we know whether or not the user is authenticated. So inside the documentation, if you search for the waitlist component using this search document, you can find different pages. One is for adding a waitlist component to your Next.js app, which is what we're going to do. But before I go here, let's actually build our homepage. I have given a prompt to V0, which is an AR tool from Vercel to build apps using Chassis and components, to just build the landing page for our meetup, monthly meetup thing. And I'm going to copy the code that we have here to our homepage. So let's see what we need and if this works. Let's comment this out and we need Lucid React, and this usually comes with chat.cn, and we are, I'm guessing, using some chat.cn components here, so we better it's better probably to install chat.cn, so that should be easy. So chat.cn, we go to the docs for installation in Next.js. We can just go ahead and do this. So let's go here and pnpm dlx chat.cn latest, and it is just defaulting to the default choices. So that's what we're going to do. pnpm dev here. Now inside of our page, we should have the Lucid React because that's automatically installed when you are creating your chat.cn app. Okay, so let's actually open up this page and see if this is showing up. All right, so we have this component. We have the page, but this is where I want to mount the waitlist component from Clerk. So let's see how that works. Going back to the Clerk documentation, we have waitlist in your Next.js app. The waitlist mode, users can register their interest in your app by joining a waitlist. It's ideal for apps in stages before they launch. And this guide is going to take you through. So we have already installed Clerk Next.js, already copied our code or our environment variables. Now we want to enable the waitlist mode inside of our application. So let's go back to our dashboard. Under configure, you can see these restrictions here. So as I mentioned, there's 3 different sign up modes. There's public, anyone can sign up for your application. There's restricted, where signups are restricted or disabled, and it's only applicable for users that you invite or create manually under the user. So you can create users manually here. Or if they use to sign up using SSO connection. So let's say you have enabled for single sign-ons for a specific domain or a company to sign up, and only they would be allowed to sign up. The waitlist, again, is restricted and people can join the waitlist. So we're going to save this, and when you have this, you're going to see this waitlist section popping up inside of here, where if somebody now joins and signs up and adds themselves to the waitlist, you'll be able to see them here, and you can allow them, which then triggers an email to go them with a link to be able to sign up. So let's continue here. So we have enabled the waitlist mode inside of our dashboard. And now we want to add the waitlist component to our app. So we're going to get the waitlist component. Let's go back to our home page and get this. And we're going to add it where we had this waitlist component. Maybe we need to probably replace it with this whole thing. Let's try and see how this looks. So let's go to our app. Yeah, so we have the waitlist component. I'm not going to sweat with the styling here. You can just go ahead and probably make it look better, but you get the idea. But before we can use this, we have to add something to our Clerk provider, and that is our waitlist URL. We have to tell Clerk where this waitlist component is living. Because imagine you can have a separate page for your, like the course that I showed, you can have a separate page for where this waitlist component is actually mounted and what happens when somebody actually signs up here. So there are stuff that you can do with the waitlist component, and you have to tell Clerk where it is living. For our case, it is living at our homepage, and that's why I added this waitlist URL to the homepage to this Clerk provider, and that's one of the ways that you could tell Clerk where it is living. Okay, now the idea is that once somebody adds themselves to the waitlist component, there are different things you can do. Maybe you want to just listen for whoever that's signing or adding themselves to the waitlist. You use the Clerk webhook. It submits an event for when somebody joins the waitlist, and you can sync it to your own database and create your email list. And if when the time comes for sending them the course or the access or the monthly meetings for this use case, you can just use and email them from your own business logic there. Or alternatively, it can be that once they add themselves to the waitlist, you then go to your dashboard and allow them. It sends them a link for them to sign in, and whoever signs in, let's say, gets access to the calendar to book a meeting here in the monthly meetup, or your app, or whatever the use case may be. So it would make sense to have a sign-in functionality. We are not going to create a custom sign-in page. We're going to use the hosted Clerk sign-in page. Again, in the video that I mentioned, I walk you through how to create a custom sign-in page, which is pretty simple. You just have to have that page in your Next.js app and bring the sign-in component from Clerk and mount it instead of your own page, instead of using the hosted page. We have already added the middleware, so everybody's authenticated. So we've already done that. The sign-in page, you just need to create your own page and bring in sign-in component. And you would add your specific path to this environment variable so that Clerk knows that this is the page you want to use for signing. And with that, you should be good to go. So let's go back here now inside of our app. And let's see if I add myself here, hello@hamidbahram.io, and join the waitlist. It says, thank you for joining the waitlist. And if I go back to my Clerk dashboard and refresh, I should see that somebody has signed in, or somebody has just used the waitlist component. Here you can see I can invite them or deny their access. If I hit invite, this is going to trigger an email to them. So let me open up my email. So Next Waitlist has an invitation. So the first invitation triggered this email that says you have successfully joined the waitlist for whatever. It will keep you posted. Now, if you wanted to customize these emails, I think you can access them through your emails. There are different templates that it uses. So we have the waitlist confirmation and invitation. So you can update these two templates, and this is the email that goes out to them. And the second one is once I actually allowed or invited them to sign in, they get this second one, which says your invitation, you're invited to join to this, and this is going to be valid for 30 days. So let's accept the invitation. This is going to send me to the sign up page on my app. Now, because I don't have a sign in and sign up page custom, it is going to a hosted Clerk version of it, which acts the same way, but you can just create your own as well. So here you can see I can't change my email. Let me just make this bigger, because now only this user is allowed to sign in. Now you can go ahead and sign in with Google. Let's just sign up with Google and use that same email. All right, so we are now back into our application. So if I go to my dashboard now and go to my waitlist component, and let's see, I want to see all the users. So this user now, as you see, I toggled the status. So you could see who is invited, who's pending, who's completed, or all of them. Now I can see this user has completed and they have signed in and created. So on there, my users, I can see that this user has joined and I have given them access to my application. So as easy as that, now users of our app have access to maybe after they sign in, if you have your own custom sign in, they now can access, as I mentioned, your calendar, your course, the beta version of your app, whatever the use case may be. You can now give them access to only the people who have created or added themselves to this waitlist or requested to be added to this, or you have invited them by manually creating them or sending an invitation. And if you wanted to deny access or maybe change their access, I think at any point, let's go to the users. You can go ahead. Well, this is a pro feature, but you could just ban them from accessing your application if at any point you change your mind. You can also change if you have sent an invitation for somebody. So in the waitlist component, let's say I've already sent the invitation and allowed this person to join. I can retract and deny them access after they have joined. Let's see here. These are the invitations that I've already sent. If I go back, well, I can't revoke the invitation because they've already used it. So in between the time that you send the invitation and the user actually signs up or receives that email and click on the link, you can revoke the invitation if you want. But once they signed up, you could just go to your users and maybe restrict their access if you didn't want to for whatever reason. So that's the case. In the case of a SaaS application where you give them access to the beta version, they can just go ahead and experience the app and use the app because of this invitation. You can also create this invitation via the API, so you could use the backend. If you want to streamline the process, you could just create this using your own component. Let's say I have my own form and I want to add them to my waitlist. You could use this using the SDK and the backend API to create an invitation, send an email, and then kind of controlling it from there. Or you can use the component that just makes it easy to add them here. Again, I want to mention that there is also a webhook event for the waitlist. So let's say in a SaaS application where it's not a beta version, but I only want to give access to users to sign up if they've already purchased the product. So nobody else can create an account unless you've already created or paid. So I can have a Stripe webhook. For example, if I'm processing the payments with a Stripe, I can have a webhook so that when somebody subscribes in that webhook, I'm going to create this invitation, send this invitation, or an invitation for them to join the app or allow them to sign up when I'm using the restricted mode. So this way, nobody else can create an account. The only way to create an account is if you purchase the app, which triggers the webhook. Inside the webhook, I'm going to generate an invitation link, sending it to you for you to sign up. And now you can sign up and sign into the app. So the use cases depend on what you exactly wanted to implement. But I think this is a great feature on top of just regular authentication, sign-in and sign-ups, to be able to restrict your app to a specific domain. There are different things that you can configure in your restrictions. As you saw here, you can have allow lists, you can have block lists and restrictions. It's one level beyond just the regular authentication, and the waitlist component, I think it makes sense in digital creators, SaaS applications, before you're launching a product, to build up this demand or the excitement before you're launching, to create this waitlist of actually measuring up to see how many people are actually interested in doing the thing. So I'm going to probably work on the page that we created so that you folks can actually go ahead and use this, so that I can track people who are interested in joining the live coding sessions monthly. I'm hoping to have monthly meetings, so once a month we're going to just hang out and talk live code, maybe answer questions, connect with one another and learn. So probably by the time you see this video, this will be hooked up so that you can sign up. So go ahead and sign up. If you have any questions, like always, hit me up in the comments. If there's any other feature that you don't know about in Clerk, or if you're wondering if it exists or not, or if you want me to cover in the features of Clerk or authentication in general, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.